Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tarani. As always, thanks for watching. We are at the Cloud Expo 2011 in Manhattan. On our program today is Dori Eksterman. He's the CTO of Zoryax. Hello, Dori.
Hello, nice meeting you.
So tell me about Zoryax. What do you guys do?
We exist for more than 10 years. We have a unique technology that enables us, by installing a simple agent on each machine, to create automatically a private cloud, which enables each workstation to utilize all the CPUs and memory available in the network instead of only the local CPU in the machine. This is done by hooking into the Windows API processes, which enable us to provide this service to our customer, to their product simulation or very long computational processes, and they can use it to accelerate these processes by 30, 40 times faster with no changes to the source code, no images, image banks, no special setups or anything like it, only by simply installing our agent in each computer they want to participate in this private cloud.
So basically, utilizing assets which are not being fully utilized on the desktop.
Yeah. We know how to utilize ideal CPU. It is totally configurable. You can say that if a computer is using more than 20% of his CPU, you don't want him to take part in this process of helping other computational processes. And actually what we do is we are enabling the acceleration of processes and simulation quite seamlessly. The only thing you need to do is tell us which are the processes that you spawn that you want us to distribute to various computers, and we handle all of it for you. You don't need to write any source code, any special API for it. We do everything in the background for you, and instead of how many processes can you spawn in one local machine, 4, 5, 6, 8, when you have all the network, all the private network in your fingertips, you can really accelerate stuff and use, run even 100, 200 parallel processes.
So who are your typical customers right now that are looking at this kind of?
We have more than 2,000 customers using our product currently. More than 20% of the Fortune 100 company are extensively using our product. We have a very known product based on this technology by the name of Incredibuild, which is accelerating Visual Studio builds the same way we can accelerate any other thing. We accelerate Visual Studio builds by 30 times faster than usual builds. It's heavily used by companies that take a lot of time to build their product. It cuts time from 20 hours to 40 minutes, and it's really useful for the end developer, which sometimes need to wait for 2-3 hours in order for its build to complete, and now we only need to take a small coffee break and come back, and this is it. So the same way and the same technology we use for Visual Studio can be used for other long computational processes. It is used by the financial industry, healthcare, medical research, energy field, usually simulations, data manipulations, all kinds of processes that take a lot of time. Video rendering, we are used by more than 85% of the gaming industry. We have solutions for all sorts of makefile, video rendering. We are used by Xbox, gaming, PlayStation 3, Nintendo 3DS, all sorts of gaming.
Now, how old is your company?
More than 10 years.
So 16 years ago, QNX was a company that popularized the same concept, and Canadian-based company, and they kind of fizzled out in terms of the same concept. The last time I heard them talk about this to me at a trade show was Computer Telephony Expo in Los Angeles in 1998. I haven't heard them talk about it, and most recently QNX, now I think they added the browser to the BlackBerry Playbook. So I don't know what they've been doing. I know they've got some other real-time operating system things that they do. I have a question. how do you compete with what they used to do or what they're currently doing? And this concept, which made a lot of sense to me in the 90s, and I thought it was a huge deal, seemed to take a break, and now it seems to be popular.
Yeah.
What happened?
I think that there are a lot of players in this field. Once it was known as grid computing, today it is more known as HPC, that you take a cluster of computers for high processing computational processes. I think that the main thing that differentiate us from other solutions is the element that you don't need to change your source code. I think that by all the other grid computing solution, which make it much difficult to use, require you to change your architecture, to write especially for the grid, to interface with the API of the grid provider, which takes a lot of time, takes a lot of QA, takes a lot of knowledge of the infrastructure this specific provider supply you with. What we do enables our customer to do it seamlessly. The only thing they need to do is write the names of the processes they want to distribute in a small XML file, and everything is done for them. So I think that in terms of application that is currently or being developed or already pre-developed, sometimes changing all the architecture in order to gain computational acceleration can be something that is very costly.
Now, you've got within a machine, you've got a powerful processor, a very fast bus, and lots of memory. So when you're moving an application to the network where it's sharing processors and sharing memory over the network, do you need to ensure that your network is as fast as it possibly can be to take advantage of this technology?
It depends on what you want to do. If you have a simulation which usually needs a lot of CPU power but have very few I/O inside them, so the network is not so important. If you have a lot of I/O, yeah, you need a strong network in order to pass all the data between the computers.
Because the network becomes the bus, really becomes a computing bus, right, to some degree?
No, because it depends on what you need to do. We are mainly focused on processes that need high CPU, intensive CPU processing power. For example, simulations that require to process many numbers, to do a lot of computing. So this really fits it. Sometimes we have a simulation that takes weeks to be done. So if you are running them only on the local machine. So when you can distribute them to hundreds of computers, it's really doing it faster.
So what's next for your company?
What's next? I think publishing it with many customers as possible. I think one of the things we are aiming to, and we already started doing, is providing some kind of hybrid solution which enables you not only to work on the private network but also going to the public cloud, simplifying our process of implementation, though it is very, very easy to use. Always performance is one of our main topics, so we are always accelerating our performance, our product performance, and I think this is something we aim to in the future.
And it's a private company?
Yeah, it's a privately held company.
How big?
We have something like 30 people in the company. We have a major branch in Israel. We have a branch in Japan. It's good, doing good.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being on the program.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you too.